historical, and in terms of whether those are going to be made public, it's a licensee document. Licensee documents are not made public.
Okay. Just wanted to get some clarity on that.
But we are inspecting
the NRC staff had asked at a previous meeting of the licensee whether they had conducted a 5059 analysis of their restart plan. So perhaps some of you recall that, Mr. Palmisano. I don't know if you recall that. And they responded that they had in fact done that. Now, if they haven't, and that was a misstatement, then that's fine as well. I just wanted to get some clarity as to whether or not that document exists, whether the licensee had conducted an analysis of their restart plan, and whether or not the public can expect to see that document.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean, 5059 of their restart plan. 5059 evaluates changes to the facility as described in the FSAR. So, or whatever is in their restart plan, or whatever, any other changes that involve steam generators that have been conducted, any 5059 that's been performed since the shutdown. We're reviewing 100% of them, both in headquarters as well as a regional inspector are independently inspecting all 5059s. So we don't make the 5059s available, but you'll certainly have our results of our inspections available.
Okay. So just, and I apologize, okay. But the public, I work very closely with the public in Southern California who are most directly impacted by this issue.
Yep.
And I'm sure you can understand, in light of the rapid degradation of brand new equipment that they are paying for, that they have very little faith in a process in which they cannot see that kind of document. So that is why I'm asking the question, because in the interest of public transparency.
All right, Kendra, let me...
And I do have one other follow-up question.
I'll tell you what.
So we can move on from this.
Let's close out this question first. I think if you have more specific comments or questions about this 5059 process and the actual document, what you should do is maybe submit a question through the NRC public feedback form. This specific question, seeking answers to it. We're trying to stay kind of, okay?
No problem.
But at the end of the day, the bottom line is licensee documents are not made public. That's the answer.
Okay, so what's your next question?
My other question was, and this is specifically pertaining to a question that was asked at the last NRC meeting on November 30th.
Well, hang on a second, Kendra.
But this relates
to... Does it have to do with the RAIs?
Yes, it has to do with the operational assessments, which have been brought up repeatedly today. That the operational, I found it really interesting today that the operational assessment that Intertech did with traditional measuring actually showed instability. However, when Mr. Palmisano was questioned about why they believe that reducing power would actually improve void fraction, dampening, and the function of anti-vibration structures that exist, why they believe that that is the case at 70% power, they said that this is based on experimental data that has never been used in an operational assessment. And that's a direct quote from Mr. Palmisano, so maybe he wants to, well, I guess I can't ask him, so I'll ask the NRC staff whether or not they're going to be taking a very close look at the use of experimental data that's actually never been used in an operational assessment, according to Mr. Palmisano, and how that impacts the safety and the assurance that the public can have that this restart plan would guarantee the safe operation of these reactors.
I'm not sure I got the whole question. The Intertech analysis to which you refer isn't predicting instability, it's assuming an instability. This is intended to be to address a worst case scenario where the Unit 3 disease exists and hasn't been eradicated, and evaluates the consequences. So as one point of view, they have other OAs directly address the issue as to with the corrective actions and so forth, directly address the issue as to whether or not an instability will occur during the cycle. And the objective of those analyses is to show that it won't occur. But the intertech analysis assumes rather than predicts an instability.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that. My concern is that the assumption that 70% power reduction is based upon experimental data that's not been used in an operational assessment. And that's according to Mr. Palmisano. So
all right.
I have a question.
How about if we let the NRC respond to that, okay?
I guess I'm not sure which experimental data that you're referring to.
He referred to it as work done by the Canadians, and specifically Dr. Pettigrew.
Then, Carl, maybe you might want to shot at this.
I am not clear on the question. Can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, the question is that the safety of the restart plan, the improvement of void fractions and dampening, and the improvement of existing anti-vibrational structures was based upon experimental data by the Canadians, according to Mr. Palmisano and Dr. Pettigrew, that's never been used in an operational assessment previously. So I'm wondering what critique the NRC is taking, what action you're taking to ensure the safety of a restart plan that's based upon experimental data that's not been used before.
So we are reviewing a range of research data, not just what has been done by the Canadians. So we are considering all of that data, and this data is used to support a code analysis that we are doing to validate the conditions at 100% power and at reduced power of 70%.
And will that assessment be made public?
Okay. I understand that, yes, it will be.
All right, thank you, Kendra. Let's go to the phone. Do we have anybody left on the phones, or you all go home? How about if we key up for our first caller, a question on the phone? Todd, do you have anybody on the phone willing to ask us a question?
You have a question from Kevin Higgins.
Okay, Kevin Higgins. Hi, Kevin. Go ahead. What's your question? Is it about these RAIs?
Yes, it is. It's a direct question that I have in regards to the meeting that took place. Here, hold on a second. I'm actually at work right now, so I'm stepping outside. The question that I have in regards to what's taking place, number one, the steam generators. I live in Temecula, and one of the, I think it was a steam generator, whatever, it was parked on the side of the hill by the border checkpoint. And I'm just curious to know, as to the follow-up question and to the individual who just asked the question, is what precautions are being taken place for us residents? We're stuck out here. We don't know what's going on. And some of the questions that you guys have answered, it's hard for me to comprehend exactly why this facility is operating at 70% capacity when it should be operated at 100% capacity. I mean, there's too much of a risk.
Okay,
you know?
so what's your specific question?
My specific question is, why take a risk to run it at 70% capacity when something that's this dangerous should be run at 100% capacity? Something run at 70% capacity that could wipe out Southern California is just too much of a risk. I don't understand why it has to operate at 70% capacity to find out what's wrong with it.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Thank you for your question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
our understanding of what has been proposed by the licensee is that they plan to operate it at they're proposing to operate at 70% power for a 5-month cycle. Obviously, our review is going to look at whether or not we believe that there is reasonable assurance of protection of the public health and safety under those conditions. That's going to be our primary criteria of our review. Does it meet the criteria, the performance criteria for steam generator tube integrity, and is it safe to operate at 70%? So that will be a question that we're looking to get an answer to.
Just one quick thing though. I am at work. I am trying to work and trying to get things done. I was waiting for quite a while, so it does sound a bit choppy. But the one thing I do want to leave you with, and it's a friend of mine who was an airline pilot and still is, I asked him, would you ever take a plane up? Would you ever fly a plane up at 70% capacity when you risk the chance of 265 people? He said, I would never, ever take a plane up if I knew it's 100%. So my point is that why run a nuclear facility at 70% when something with that much of a risk should run at 100%? That's all I have to say.
All right. We thank you for your question and your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.